Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You said this is perfect timing. I'm glad. And I promise it will not be a very, probably be an hour live, because today was intense. I'll say that much. And I definitely need to get some rest and everything. But welcome, everybody. Let me make sure that hopefully notifications went out. So we have the transcripts. And there's just I don't want to read it word for word, so I want to be able to review them where we're like reading the relevant parts and stuff like that. But I'm letting those notifications let the room fill in, let the people come through, and then we're gonna get started. That way I don't have to stop and go and everything. Hey, hit that like button, please, and thank you. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Now let me put this before I forget to put this on the chat. The chat is not moving. Are you guys there? Let me know. Um okay. Welcome everybody. Hey everybody. Okay. So we have the transcripts, right? And I really want to get into some of the sidebars. I want to get into some stuff. Oh, y'all drop. We have a new hold up now, Nightbot. Don't be going crazy now. We have a new moderator by the name of Nightbot. Now, I know that Nightbot goes a little bit crazy, so I just want to make sure I'm trying to set up. You better not be like. You better not be like blocking everybody. So I do apologize if Nightbot goes. It's the first time I use it. So I apologize. Nightbot is in the chat. Nightbot is really here for see, Nightbot just said that Shannon, you were not spamming, but Nightbot said that you were spamming. Holy cow, stop spamming symbols. Warning. I need to figure out how to fix this, okay? Nightbot is really here just to drop links, especially when my mods are not around. So Nightbot, she didn't say anything wrong. It was a bunch of emojis. So I guess Nightbot considers that spamming. So we have to be careful. Excessive symbols. Okay, we gonna keep an eye on a Nightbot. So, just a heads up, okay? I think she's still here, right? Shannon Todd, are you here? Let me know if you're in the chat, please and thank you. I don't think she's permanently blocked. Is she? All right then. All right. See, Katie, excessive symbols. Nightbot is telling you. Oh man, Nightbot is AI apparently. So let's see how it works out. We have to train Nightbot. Be nice to Nightbot. Don't go crazy, Nightbot. Now let me see. I want to make sure because I'm watching the settings to it. I didn't know it was going to be this intense. Hold up. Okay, repetition. That's disabled. That's disabled. Okay. We're going to do that for now. Okay. Let's see. Hopefully it chills out a bit. It's not even letting them use your custom emojis. I noticed that too. Nightbot is doing too much. Okay. It's all good. We'll figure it out. You can't undelete it? Okay. All right. First time using Nightbot and already it's being a pain in the ass. It's okay. We'll keep an eye on it and then I'll look at the chat and figure out. I'm still working on the settings, y'all. It's the first night we use Nightbot. Good thing we're not using it during the day because then this would be crazy. So we'll figure it out. Thank you guys. Get those likes up. All right. We got to get right into it because we don't have a lot of time and we got to get right into it. I just wanted to figure out Nightbot. Okay. I apologize if it blocks you. It's not my mod. It's probably Nightbot. All right. We're going to get right into these documents because it's a lot of stuff to get into. Okay. So let me see. I haven't even looked at them. Okay, they wanted to do feedbacks for Mike. For Mike's, let's start with dispute of exhibits for Mia. Okay, so there was a dispute of exhibits. Hold up, let's see. Second of all, out here, it's perfectly fine to assist another lawyer. Problems are, I've been having this a lot, a little. Okay, I'm just trying to go to the relevant parts because we don't want to get lost too much into this. Okay. The defense believes that aspects and demeanors of the witness, this is important. This is what the defense is saying in the morning before Mia came through, okay? Um, the defense believes that the aspect and demeanor of witness is essentially a false persona that she's presenting to the jury. This is what Miss Shapiro is saying. Miss Shapiro is for the defense, and I guess she grabbed the transcripts from the hearing to figure out what that actually, like, what matches. Okay, so keep that in mind. She said, I wanted to just put a little more meat on the bones about why the video impeaches that and it undermines it. There's a video out there of Mia. Um, she grabs the I don't know, the lip gloss, puts it in her mouth, and it's like, okay, y'all, we first of all, let me do a shameless plug. Happy birthday to Diddy and company and my best friend and yada 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 yada. Okay. That's part of the issue. So I watched it and I had seen some stuff before. And yes, yeah, that is the deal with her. She was somebody that worked very closely with Diddy. And if you watch that video, do you feel like that speaks to her character? She's out here, saying something different. She worked with Diddy for 8 years. And that's what it was, which is actually just normal. You said, okay, hold up. You said, wow, I just got notification. I like the transcripts. It's better. Okay, I try. But I do have a lot of questions about this whole situation. I want to know what you guys think. Okay, so defense felt like this video would undermine her character. You think she was being sarcastic? Okay. All right. So let me perhaps obviate that they say it's fine because I don't think that there's any substantial unfair prejudice by having this video being used. However, Mr. Steele, I take it that you're not going to spend more than 2 minutes on this video. It's a 20-second happy birthday video. And the thing about, I will say, Steele literally, I think he just did too much. Especially after just exhibit after exhibit. I feel like he drove his point pretty well, but then it was kind of roadkill. Now, hold up. Miss Miser in this little meeting before Mia came up, as you can see in the first few messages, Mia is expressing some of her feelings. This came at a time period we're talking about at the end of the day on Friday. The court says after shutting down the Revolt Films was shutting down, she starts messaging Christina Korm about wanting to end her life. This was a thing that had happened, okay? So Smizer's like, correct. Christina responded with a number of text messages. And if you continue to the next page, she accuses Mia of attacking her with all these text messages when Mia is expressing that she feels betrayed and backstabbed, for example. So we think it's prejudicial in that way. In addition, it's cumulative to the evidence that the defense has already admitted into topic on Friday. Okay. So let me see what else is relevant here. So Steele speaks and he gives a sample of an example of another message. He says, here it is around Christmas 2016. She has noticed that she is no longer working, yet she doesn't say anything about what is the betrayal and what is the backstab, anything about Mr. Combs. And I would like to use the entirety of the text. If the court is limiting that part of the text, I would like you to consider allowing that part in. Okay. So they go back and forth. I really want to just get to the meat and potatoes of things. Let's do that right when she's on the stand. I didn't know that she had been asked. Let's see. Let's keep going. I didn't know that she was sending text messages to Diddy days before Cassie did a lawsuit. Days before Cassie did a lawsuit. And I think that that's relevant. I told you guys, I said, I don't know. I mean, maybe I could be wrong, but this is 2023 now. She left the company in 2017. And, some people in the chat said, well, it takes people years. And I get that. But at the same time, and then Eddie Garcia gets his immunity package there. Okay. And so then we start with direct on Mia. Let's start right here. Okay. This would be page 28. Okay. Let's see. Okay, no, this is still Garcia. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to go right to Mia here. Mia resumes. That'd be page 31. Here we go. So let's see. Let's go. They get into the witness. All right. Let's see. Lay the foundation. The court goes on that. We talked about this morning. She graduated from James Madison University. What year did you graduate? 2005. Do you remember what your GPA would be? Objection. That's objected. After graduating, did you enter into the workforce? Yes, eventually. And when you say eventually, did you start working immediately after graduating or shortly after graduation? After graduating, I took advantage of a study abroad program. Okay. So I did not start working, I believe, maybe until the fall. I'm not sure the exact dates. They get into her resume. She says, let's see. After that, did you do any work as an assistant to somebody? She says, yes. And when did you do that work? What years, if you remember? She says, well, I started in 2009, so maybe 2000, maybe 2008 or 2007. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the exact years. Okay. So she's asked about her CV or her resume. And and Steele does this thing. Do you remember on your resume that you had before working with Mr. Combs and his companies, explaining that you have the ability to multitask? I'm going to move this tab over here. It's easier for me. She says, yes, sure. You worked under pressure. Yes. Using an energetic, positive approach. Yes. You always maintain thick skin. I don't know if I wrote that, but I don't remember if I wrote that. Okay. And you're accustomed and comfortable in 24/7 roles. Objection from the government. Okay. They get into the exhibits and the binder. All right, we got to go right to the questioning. Here we go. Steele, okay, is this an accurate depiction of your resume or CV? I mean, it looks familiar, but I don't remember the exact document from that long ago. Okay. Well, look at the whole document. Does that look like it accurately depicts what you have previously put forth on your CV as your CV? It looks like it. Okay. So no objection. That gets admitted into evidence. All right. So she graduated from James Madison. That also has to be put in there. Okay. And it says that you graduated with the Bachelor's of Science in May 2025 with a 3.6 GPA grade point average. 2005. Yes. And I said, okay. And if I said something different, I apologize. All right. Then there was your major and your activities. Okay. They get into that. All right. This is something you wanted to be involved with around celebrity entertainment world. Is that fair to say? I wanted to be in the entertainment industry, yes. And if there is anything else significant that you want to talk about, we will. Otherwise, I would be going over to the job above. Do you see that? Also in New York as an executive assistant production coordinator, yes. And you transitioned from one job to the next, and you worked about 9 months, about just under 2 years. Is that true? Yes. And there you acted as an in-house personal assistant to the executive. Then you took another job. Okay. So they're getting into a resume. And then towards the bottom, the third bullet point from the bottom, you kept the inventory of all personal possessions and documentations, including passports, driver's licenses, etc. Okay. And if people went on vacation or a trip, there were passports involved at jobs. Did you pull all of the, I mean, not you, but were all the passports collected as one? So they were, so they were in somebody's charge. I don't exactly remember, but I didn't travel like that. I think this is an interesting question that Steele asked because it goes to her allegations that she was like put on this boat, right? And is Nightbot doing the most? Let me know, y'all. Sorry, I don't know if people are saying to that they're getting blocked. Let me know. Cheeks, is Nightbot doing the most? I don't even see Nightbot anymore. Maybe Nightbot blocked me. I don't know. I feel like the reason why Steele got into this question is because you guys remember the allegations about her being on a boat, not able to get her documents, that type of situation. So this was a thing. Okay, all good. Thank you. So this was a thing. So she couldn't, so it was almost like I felt like he was trying to say, well, this is what people do when they go on vacation. They have all their passports together and they collect them in one. If people went on vacations, you would keep inventory of things like that, right? Like this is what you would do. Okay. And says, I exactly don't remember, but I didn't travel like that. So, and then she says, I would have given them their passports. I don't really remember the exact process. It was so long ago. So I think this is what he's trying to do with this one is when she said that they were on a boat and she couldn't get out. She was trying to leave. She didn't want to go back, but she didn't have her passport. Was it because they all collected those passports? And so then he's trying to kind of put this on her and say, you have this on your resume where you collect people's passports if they're going on vacation, to kind of keep track of stuff, that type of deal, if that makes sense. You said nobody's taking my passport. Well, there you go. Okay, let me see. And I'm just like, I don't feel like we need to spend a whole lot of time here other than just reviewing some of the things, because I don't feel like there was I honestly don't know how much more we could have gotten from her at this point. Okay, here it is. And when you said earlier in your testimony that you couldn't leave, do you remember that testimony that your passport was being held or housed with Mr. Combs? Do you remember that? Yes. That's everyone's passport was being held or housed with the same person. Yes. Now, with regards to the very last bullet point to your first job experience, supervise other assistants and manage interviewing process. Do you see that? I see that. You have a personality that you are strong. Is that fair to say? I would like you to describe yourself. Is that fair to say? Objection. So he's using her resume to basically like kind of throw some of the things that she wrote out there about things that she's now describing as abuse. That's the strategy here, if that makes sense, honestly. Which I don't know. You either take it or you believe. I don't know where you guys land with this one, but this is the strategy that he's applying at this point. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, they still go on her professional skills. And you speak at least 4 languages that you converse in. True. At the time I could. She spoke 4 languages. Okay, and you also, as you say, you multitask under pressure. She spoke 4 languages. Okay. She doesn't speak them anymore. All right. Okay, second line, you're accustomed to and comfortable in 24/7 hour roles. Right. Okay. And I'm just skimming because I want to get right to the relevant stuff. Okay, there are binders. Okay, here we go. We need more binders. Do you recognize these text message exchange? Again, I don't remember, but it sounds like me. Would you like me to do a courtesy to go to the next tab? Okay, just tell me again if it looks like something that you text. Okay. So more gets into admissions. Okay, we're not going to read all the admission numbers. All right. All right, I would like you to help me out if you don't mind. We're talking about if you could look at the first blue text exchange on the left-hand side. This is Christmas 2008. She left in 2007. Do you see that? Yes. All right, tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you wrote to Mr. Combs. Merry Christmas. I love you so, so much. Okay? And then Mr. Combs respond to you, same to you. Yes. And that was 2 days later. Is that fair to say? Yes. And then on the next page, Happy New Year's. Always so much love to you. That's you to Mr. Combs. Fair? Correct. And that's a couple days later. So we're talking about Christmas Eve 2018 going into the New Year's 2019. True? True. And these are sentences to Mr. Combs, right? Yes. And he's not with you, or you're not with his employee. I think he meant to say employment, right? Correct. And you don't see him anymore. I had just seen him at Kim's funeral. Okay. Other than that, no, I did not see him anymore. All right. And you reached out wishing, nicely, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. Fair? Absolutely. Okay. And then there's the next chat of January 15th. So it's January 15th in the new year 2019. Fair to say? Fair to say. And can you read to the jury what you wrote to Mr. Combs? Just thinking of you today and every day. Also, no lie. Last night I had a nightmare. Oh Lord, this is where R. Kelly gets. It's where R. Kelly gets mentioned. Okay. Um. Just thinking of you today and every day. Also, no lie. Last night I had a nightmare and I was trapped in an elevator with R. Kelly and I screamed for you and you came to rescue me. So thank you for that too. Sending you love. Sending you love. Okay? I need to know what you guys think in the chat about this one. She's sending him love. Hot and fresh off that kitchen. I don't know. You have a headache from all of this, you said, Belen? I'm sorry. Y'all hit the like button. I don't even know if notifications went out. I know, Pika, but she had already left. What do you guys think, though? She was still messaging him. Like, she did the lawsuit for the wrongful termination. She gets her settlement. She moves on, and that's what happened. You said we appease. Would you still be contacting? Like, that's the thing. It's like, oh my, this is and the trauma bond. Okay, she was still contacting though, but this was way after. You think she had feelings for him? I know, I know. I'll fix Nightbot. I can't do it right now, but I'll fix it. We're trying it out. Um, Nobody should be getting blocked after a dream like that. I just think it's weird to even say his name. Well, why? No, I get it. I get that. I get that. But if I know nothing about any of that, this can be very difficult for a jury to understand. So now that we have the direct context, okay. So she had a dream about R. Kelly. She wasn't trapped in in a closet. She was trapped in an elevator. Okay, that's what happened. All right, hold up. Let's keep going. Now that the time is 2019, you wrote that you had a nightmare concerning the person, the artist known as R. Kelly, right? Yes. Okay. 2019. When did R. Kelly get convicted? 2021? Oh man. Okay. And the person who actually or essayed you in your dream or your nightmare rather came to your rescue. That's what you wrote. Yes. And you not only had the vision in your mind, but then you expressed it to Mr. Combs. Yes. You had to tell him that in the text message that he's your actual savior, right? Objection overruled. Okay. She says yes. So the person who told you, so the person you told the ladies and gentlemen of the jury terrorized you and caused you PTSD, you wrote to that person to explain how the person saved you from the other person named there, right? Objection. Sustain. Okay, we need to rephrase it. All right. So then they go back to another message, and this is March 8th of 2019. Okay. March 8th of 2019. So approximately, I know it's not perfect, but approximately just a week short after 2 months after the nightmare R. Kelly text. Is that fair? Yes. I'm sure R. Kelly is not wanting to be mentioned in Diddy's trial whatsoever. I mean, the man is like locked up, so why are we talking about R. Kelly? I don't know. Can you read this to the jury? What you wrote to Mr. Combs? Just sending you all the love in the world. What with a type of emoji? With a type of emoji? That's the question. Oh, heart emoji. Okay. So she's still sending him all the love in the world, and that's still going. And you're not under the grip of Mr. Combs at this time, right? Right? No, I still was. Why? Okay, she explained psychologically. Also, Puff used to be my protector. Also, these were based around after tragic events that happened in his life. And again, I don't know how to explain the psychology behind it. Why can't you explain your thoughts? You keep replying. It seems like on psychology. What about what would you do? Objection. Okay. He says, okay, I'll rephrase. So he gets to rephrase it. Explain to the jury, if you can, why are you reaching out to Mr. Combs telling him this? She says, because, I'm sorry, with all the love in the world, heart emoji, when you had nothing to do with him. Because because Kim had just passed away and I felt horrible for him. Okay. Then Steele speaks, ma'am, that tragedy occurred, that unexpected death occurred 5 months earlier. 5 months earlier. Okay. That's what's being put out there. Say objection. That was a statement. So do you have a question? Okay. Court says that's a statement. So do you have a question? Okay. Mr. Seals then says, is that true? That's the question. Is that true? Yes, it's true. So you go to the person who has terrorized you, the funeral of his significant other, mother of his children in November of 2018, right? Yes. But it's 5 months later and you're having thoughts that he's your savior and you've reached out unilaterally. Objection. Okay. And then the questioning continues. To send you all the love in the world, the court says we've got to finish the question and then we'll get an objection. So that's for the government. The question does need to be rephrased, Mr. Steele. Okay, so he's rephrasing it. Can you explain, besides just saying psychology, why you're reaching out to Mr. Combs when you painted this picture for the jury, how he has ruined your life? Objection. That's overruled. Why was I reaching out? The witness says, Mia, because I don't believe 5 months is really that long to get over. I feel that's a lifelong tragedy to recover from. And these were specific dates. I don't remember why that something would really happen for me to reach out. The version of Puff that did treat me like the best friend, I did love that dude. He protected me from the other versions of themselves. And I didn't understand what happened to me until recently, as he was still being praised by everybody in the world. So how would I have known? Okay. This is where I have to say something, okay? This is where the government fucked up, all right? You guys can, let me just say this, all right? This is, and I said it earlier, and Franny Law, who's an attorney, was in the chat. The government dropped the ball by allowing Mia to take the stand and not address this first, because this is why puts doubt in her statement out of a juror or somebody who would not know anything about trauma, what is happening, and everything. Guys, this is it right here. The government dropped the ball. First of all, they didn't even need to talk about her essay. Why? Because she's a forced labor victim. Focus on that. That's what they needed to do. Everything else, there's other people that are speaking on coercion. Coercion is part of that problem too, right? So this is where, in my opinion, they just dropped the ball. They did. They should not have put her in the stand on this. Because now you have the defense. This is what the defense is going to do. You reached out to him there. They didn't even address that in her direct examination. This is what I'm talking about. Not once in that video, not once in those transcripts that I reviewed, did they go in there and say, did you reach out to Diddy on 2008, 2009? How about a couple months before the Cassie lawsuit? You can't expect people in the jury to receive a crash course on victimology and then expect them to be like, oh, I get it. I get what this is. This is where the government fucked up here, honestly. And you know what? They don't care. I told you guys, they do not care. They don't care about her because they care about getting the conviction. That's why they put that allegation out there, knowing that she would have been, mopped around by those facts by fucking 9 defense attorneys. Honestly, you don't have to believe everything that she says. It's completely your prerogative. But the strategy that they applied here from the government, they opened the door to this. That's why they're effed up. They got it wrong right there. So this is what makes me mad. This is why we're sitting here and we're like, wait a minute, girl said this here. Should have been buffed up before we even got to cross. Honestly. So that's just my 2 cents on that. But hey. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Okay. So this is what she said. So what would I have known? And then he says, because you told the jury that Mr. Combs suffocated you. Objection overruled. I'm sorry. What was the question? She says, you're saying I didn't know. I didn't know, actually. I don't want to speak for you. What didn't you know? What didn't you understand? According to your testimony that Mr. Combs was brutal to you, according to you, how did that not make sense until more recently? Because I was objection. It's argumentative from the government. Okay. A witness says, I'm sorry, how did I not know what? So she doesn't understand these questions as well. And this is what I noticed in the last transcript. Like, Steele is really good at confusing the witness a bit. Especially there was one statement that she made where she said, what you're saying is it true or is it untrue? And I don't even, everything that I've said is true. They kind of get into this and it can get very confusing because the questions, it's almost like, I don't know if he's intentionally trying to get her to perjure herself or, say something that will look off. He doesn't need to do that. I'm sure he doesn't, but it kind of gives the illusion that he's trying to like trap her in an answer. And she keeps kind of wiggling away, but she goes to it. But then there's more questions to it. And we're doing this like back and forth dance. It's just too much. It's way too much. Okay. So they're in a sidebar. Oh, Lord. So the court says, so these questions need to be cleaned up because you're drawing valid form objections to these questions. So you're going to keep drawing them. And then I'm going to have to keep telling you to rephrase the question. So just be mindful of that because I understand the line of questioning and why the defense believes it's relevant. However, there's sometimes that there are statements. There are other times when there are multiple questions and the witness is having a hard time following what you are exactly asking her. So if you can just clean it up a bit and then you can proceed very swiftly through this and move on to the next topic. Okay, thank you. Can we step back? All right. So they're back at it again. They're going to go look at exhibits. Now, let's get speaking of, you should watch what? Can you read to the jurors what you wrote to Mr. Combs on the same date? Speaking of, you should watch a Netflix show. Is it Judd Apatow created it? It's bad, super bad quest funny. The next post you made is the 15th day of December 2019. When I say post, text message to Mr. Combs. Is that true? Correct. And you can tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you wrote. Sending you and the family love and prayers today. With heart emojis? With heart emojis. Just reaching out to Mr. Combs, right? Kim's birthday. Say again, it was Kim's birthday. Okay. So she was still reaching out to him, to especially around Kim's birthday, just to, saying love, sending love to the family. Okay, the next page, which is 1733, the fourth page. Do you see it? New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2019? Yes. And you sent Mr. Combs that attachment. Is that true? That's true. Someone was sending it over to me over and over again, asking me to forward it to him. So I did. It was for children's with cancer. Okay. So she's forwarding over information. The next reach out you made to Mr. Combs was the same day, New Year's Eve, right? Or actually, that's just the metadata. Going to the next page, which is page 5, they're showing exhibits. Okay. Um, so you had been gone. So, okay, so here it is, May 14th, 2020 now, right? Yes. So you had been gone from Mr. Combs' employment for 3 years, just 3 years and 2 months approximately. True. And you texted Mr. Combs May 14th, 2020. Yes. Can you read it to the jury? Okay. So she texted this. And this is when I guess we were talking about, I mentioned Dre, but it's Andre Harrell. That's who it was. I don't know why I was thinking about Dr. Dre. Puff, my heart is broken about Dre, and I spent all week praying and crying for you as well. I hope you know that I love you so much, and I will always be here for you in every capacity. I was fortunate enough to have Dre in my life because of you. And in my spirituality, I know when people are done with the physical world, it is because they are finished with their mission of teaching to who is supposed to pass it along. You are one of the most influential people on the planet, a master, and he will live on through you forever to continue on his message. I know this is excruciating, and again, it might be small, but I will always love you, but I will always be there for you. I love you. Okay, so then the next one is August 29th, 2020. Do you see that? Yes. Okay, and what did you write to Mr. Combs? Thinking of you since I've heard about Chad Bosman and our sick James Brown audition. Okay, so she's still messaging him. Okay, tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what happened. Chad Bosman passed away, and he had done this. I don't know how to explain it. He was auditioning for this role for James Brown movie that Chad had got, and essentially he put his own production that, or we put on his production like a week. It was really intense. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And then, and Mr. Combs responded to you, how are you? With the question mark. Yeah, life is crazy. Is that true? The same day? True. Okay. So Mr. Combs responded to you on the same day. And then the next page, who has that tape? I need a copy. I need a copy. Laugh out loud or LOL. Shit was funny. Do you see that? Yes. Okay. So they were corresponding with each other. So there's a tape out there of James Brown. Okay. It's supposed to be funny. Okay. And what did you respond on the same day? So she responds on the same day. I was going through my computer this week randomly, and I just have so many videos of things I thought I lost. I'll buy a hard drive and toss them over and mail them to you. So when you say that you were going to through your computer and your videos, we live in an age, and you specifically when you were with Mr. Combs lived in an age that things were recorded. True, true, and you used it to in fact carry around like a little video recorder with you at all times, right? He required me to carry a flip camera before we had full-time videographers back whenever technology era. That was pre-iPhones, correct? And you knew how to use it, right? Yeah, I did. I think so. Okay. And you used it, right? Yes, I was required. Okay. And you saved the data or the visual, the audio file. Okay. So they're going to go through this now. Let me see. You had capacity of carrying around your phone with you, right? You had a cell phone. I did have a cell phone and it recorded, right? My iPhone could record once we got those. I guess maybe my BlackBerry could, but okay. So my question is, do you have any recordings of Mr. Combs berating you? Objection from the government. No, she responds. I would not have been allowed to film that. I was filming whatever he filmed, whatever he wanted me to film by Mr. Steele. Excuse me. I was filming whatever he wanted me to film. Okay. So more questioning continues. But did you ever put on your iPhone recorder to capture Mr. Combs in a moment of rage, like you described to the jury? Absolutely not. So she never recorded Diddy in a fit moment of rage. Okay. Keep that in mind. Okay. So do you have any text messages that you sent to a friend or family member of what's going on according to you that Mr. Combs was somehow berating you, being violent to you, humiliating you? Do you have anything like that? Objection overruled. I would, like I said before, never told anybody outside, and I would never have. No, that would have been a huge break of trust, loyalty, and confidentiality. How about getting out the truth through the preserving of truth? My question is, do you have any of those in text message form? In a text message form, I think that they showed a text message on my direct. Okay. What was the text message? It was Puff telling me, like, F everything, let's go to war, like that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. No. Are you done? Sure. Okay, my question is different. Do you have anything where you oh my god, I can't where you how do you say that word? Hold up. Let me look it up. Just want to make sure I pronounce it correctly, y'all. It's like I can say it, but I can never. I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly. Contempo. Da, 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 da. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure I say it correctly. Contemporaneously. Oh, okay. Contemporaneously. That's a tongue twister for me. Where do you have anything where you contemporaneously wrote to a friend, a family member, a police officer, anything, and said that this was going on? I'm being assaulted, berated, anything? No. The only time I reached out for help was very subtle to people in the office, but not disclosing things that other people had witnessed. No, I would never. Okay. All these messages are positive. Would you agree? Yes. Almost showing a loving relationship from you to Mr. Combs. True. Loving. I'm sending him support and love. Yes. Okay. Let's look at the next August 29th, 2020. Do you see that? August 29th? Yes, 2020. Yes, at the bottom of the screen. Can you read to the jurors what you wrote to Mr. Combs? Life is effing insane, and supposedly it all happens. Just go a little slower. Okay, thank you. Life is effing insane, and supposedly it all happens for a reason, in order to elevate us in our human experience, but it's rough. I've been tapping into spirituality a lot lately, and it really makes me shit myself sense. I've also been thinking about you so much and feeling your pain. And just so you know, I love you with all my heart, and I still here for you forever. We have so many hilarious ass memories and stories. Oh my gosh. I'll send you the video and even more random notes I have in my phone titled quote unquote funny shit Puff said. Do you have any random notes in your phone talking about being brutalized by Mr. Combs? Objection. Uh-huh. It's overruled. Okay. And let me ask you guys a question in the chat, because this was asked earlier and I thought it was an interesting question. I kind of felt the same way too, but I want to know, if you sue somebody, does that, like, I know that there's no like written rule, like if you sue somebody, you got to stop talking to them, right? But to me, when you sue, like if I'm fired, I'm just thinking out loud. If I'm fired from an employer, right? And this is my dream job and I have lost it all and I've given my time, blood, sweat, and tears type of situation. Okay. And not only that, but I don't even get paid the bonuses that I'm earned. I'm having to hire an attorney. Okay. I'm having to hire an attorney. Right. I go through the whatever process I go through, and I get 400,000. 200,000 goes to my attorneys, and 200,000 goes to me. But that doesn't even cover like actual bonuses. Okay, keep that in mind, and work hours and stuff like that. But anyways, that's what the settlement was. All right. Um, Typically, a lawsuit is like you're cutting ties with the situation. Why would you guys have cut ties in that situation with the former boss or employee? Like, what would you guys have done in this situation? Because I think that I feel that sentiment. You said they can kiss your ass. I feel that sentiment that it's like, okay, yeah, like if I'm suing somebody, the last thing I want to do, whether somebody passes away or not, I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear. I don't like, oh, I'm sorry, you're right. He did answer the door for this interview in his underwear. So I have to understand what was the context behind this. Kraken, that wasn't shown. And I think that, like I said, this is where the government dropped the ball. If anything, what they showed was that she reached out to him, not the other way around. She was reaching out to him. So they severed ties and she sends out a message. She initiates that contact. So I think that, like, I'm just saying, guys, like, I gotta be able to tell you that other side. Like, I have to kind of wonder about that. I don't know about you guys. You say, yeah, right. And maybe she felt different because it was a mediation and not a lawsuit. And we don't know, like, the terms of the lawsuit, but or even that mediation. I'm just saying, like, it seems like this was an end for her, right? So that she gets its attorney and it ends at mediation. They're able to mediate. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if, I don't know. It's just something to think about. That's all. That's just my thought, and I put that out there. Maybe her looks like she's only doing this because she couldn't have him, and that's why I wonder what I have to say. People have said different things. You guys are entitled to your opinion. That's what I'm saying. But I think that there's a question to be asked, okay, about this. Okay, that's what I got to say about that. I wonder if Diddy responded to. He did. He did, CJ. He responded to some messages, but not all. Some messages, but not all. You know? But I don't know. What would you guys do? That's the question. What would you do? Would you, if you got to that point, your employer doesn't even pay you, you went through all this, but maybe you're not seeing the bad side of it. Maybe you want to see the good side of this person. And there were things that you care about this person, even though you went through everything that you went through, you care about this person. She wasn't necessarily blackballed, as they would say, because she was able to get a job with Madonna shortly after, right? So I think that this is the part where there was a lot done to kind of ponder about what was said. If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. Okay, let me see. Do you have any notes like you did here, like you memorialized here in these text messages that Mr. Combs was violent towards you? She says, I don't know, I don't think so. I would never have. I don't think so. I mean, Puff used to make me follow him around and write down all the funny stuff he said that day. That's why I have all that stuff. Why would he? It's weird. Okay. Mia, didn't you have time away from Mr. Combs when you could write a good note to yourself? Totally. Like he essayed you? God forbid. Objection. She said no. Objection. Witnesses, I did not. Did you ask me if I had time away to write that? It says, of course. That's my question. No, I did not. And I would not have. Okay. So Moore gets into exhibits. Okay. And then he says, and he wrote to you, I love it. Glad you're well. Love with the period. She was reaching out to him. So there's another correspondence. Mr. Combs responding to you on the same date, correct? August 29th of 2020. Okay. Correct. And he wrote to you, I love it. Glad you're okay. Love it. Love with period. Please send me all the footage because we're working on our doc. And know that I will remember that know that I only remember the good times. Look at this. This is what Combs wrote. And know that I only remember the good times. Love you. What you want to know that. You see that? I do. What's the doc? Okay, they were working on a documentary and they needed footage that she had. Okay, I'm going to keep going, all right? Because we have to kind of get to... All right, look at this. So now, did you respond to him? You know, it's 2020. The hashtag #MeToo movement has been strong for approximately 2.5 years. And you should remember what you did to me. Did you say that? This is a question that Seal is asking her. Objection. Okay, Mr. Steele, can you rephrase the question? Yes. When Mr. When Mr. Combs wrote to you, I only remember the good times. Why didn't you respond? Well, I remember the bad times. Sorry. Why didn't I say that? Because I would have never responded that way. Okay, because it's not true. That's not true, Mia. Objection. So they get into it, right? Says, I'm sorry, what was the question? Your testimony, your statements, that it was that you were victim at the hands of Mr. Combs' brutal and essay assault is not true, is it? I have never lied in this courtroom. I never will lie in this courtroom. Everything I've said is true. Let's see what you wrote in response to Mr. Combs. This is again just to orient the jurors, okay? August 29, 2020. And you responded at 8:42, okay? Can you read what you wrote to Mr. Combs in response to his writing to you? Send me all the footage, and we're working on a documentary, okay? I love you. I love you, and only things to remember are the good times. And can you go slower? Oh, sorry. I love you too, and the only things to remember are the good times. And those are the only memories I have. Ha ha ha. Like effing hysterical ones. I'll send you everything I've got. I remember even before you had videographers with us, I carried around a little iVid thing, and I found those too. Completely forgot about them. So many magical, hilarious things, like drinking 1942 on Parrot Cay Beach and champagne under the Eiffel Tower at 4 a.m. in the dark, and singing with Jimmy at the Interscope and Mick Jagger trying to take me home. But I ran away, and Ibiza Caves, where I got a 7-inch scar, and Hawaii 5.0 when you punch the dick F for talking shit to me, and laughing revolt, and that random underground game where J Lo enters the chat, wouldn't pay out, and I stayed only, and you won 650 grand, and that little prick ran from me, and Leo grabbed my pink bedazzled BlackBerry, and you said the Titanic motherfucker doesn't know shit. Leonardo DiCaprio's being mentioned here. Oh my God. J Lo said the Titanic motherfucker doesn't know shit, and he won 10K and I won 650K. Ha ha ha. Gosh, these are trillions of stories that are amazing. Of course, I'll send them to you. And also, what documentary without me? I will always say I reflect back, and I know I did really effing great with Can't Stop, Won't Stop. I was just bamboozled by Heather because I didn't realize how shitty people could be, and I believe everyone was good. But you taught me so much, and I appreciate that. But I have all of your doc stuff. Remember the scrapbook I made you of everything that had been mentioned in the press from day one until ultimate fame? Just thought about that. I've got you. You said the pink bedazzled BlackBerry. Yeah. This was 2020 when she mentioned when she messaged him that. Okay. Yeah. J-Ho and Leonardo DiCaprio enters the chat. Okay. When you said in this message to communicate to Mr. Combs, it's the fifth line up to the bottom, starting in the center. I was bamboozled by Heather because I didn't realize how shitty people could be, and I realized everyone was good. You see that? Yes. Why didn't you say, and Mr. Combs, you bamboozled me as well? Because I was still brainwashed. Who brainwashed you, Mia? Puff. And how did he brainwash you into thinking that it's okay to be woken up from a slumber with a man's private part being inserted without your permission? Man, it goes from BlackBerry to then it goes dark. BlackBerry, then it goes dark. Okay. How did he bamboozle you? How did he bamboozle you to believe that it was okay when you were orienting different items in a closet? Objection sustained. So the closet incident was another thing too. Okay, that she had been essayed in the closet as well, or was forced to give OFs in the closet. All right, we're talking in codes. Okay. Yes, definitely graphics. So I do apologize, but I don't know. I'm being very careful. You didn't like Leonardo DiCaprio in the Titanic? Well, damn. It says because I was brainwashed. That's your answer? Objection. Okay, so what does brainwash mean? Objection. She says brainwash meant that I was in an environment where the highs were really high and the lows were really low. I don't like her saying this. She said this a lot, and maybe that's just how she is. She doesn't know how to communicate different, but this, I don't know. Okay, which created a huge confusion in my trusting my instincts. I was punished whenever Puff would be violent or I would react, therefore again confusing me and making believe that I had done something wrong. And then I would try so hard to get back to a good space, and I work harder and be nicer, and nobody around batted an eye. He was still praised by everyone around him in public. And again, I felt like I had done something horrifically, like had been betrayed him in some way by going to mediation. And I felt horrible about it. Like again, I had done something wrong. And I was always constantly seeking his approval. He was my authority figure, the only authority figure. Okay. Of course, says Mr. Steele, are you finished yet? Sure, yes. Okay. You see, he asked him if he was done. Okay. You had not been with Mr. Combs on the date that you wrote these text messages for approximately 3 years and 5 months. Do you realize that? Correct. And this is approximately 3 years after you told the jurors that the hashtag MeToo movement went viral, right? I guess. October 15, 2017, and this is August 29, 2020. So just under 2 months shy of the hashtag MeToo movement going viral, according to what you said, right? One, that he was objection. Okay, they object. Overruled. Court says, please rephrase the question, and you can rephrase it. You were aware of the hashtag MeToo movement for years by August 29, 2020, right? One, that he was not affected by. Correct. Yeah, that the MeToo movement didn't really get Diddy. Am I wrong for saying that? Like, it wasn't like I don't think that there were any I mean, there was always allegations against Diddy, but not one that was what's the word? Not one that was like taken over that I could remember. Like, there was no Diddy lawsuits or anything like that back then that I remember. I don't know. Do y'all remember? I don't think I remember anybody in that time frame that spoke out about. It was mainly like Weinstein, obviously R. Kelly, that being one of them, but and there were other ones too. But I don't remember if Diddy made the news around 2017 regarding Me Too. I think he just kept quiet. I think there's a lot of people that kept quiet, and he was one of them, if I remember correctly. But y'all refresh my memory. I could be wrong. Okay. So she says, one, that he was not affected by it. Correct. Well, what does that mean? He was not affected by it. I can't understand. Can you elaborate for you? Okay, Court says, no, hold on. Mr. Steele, why don't you ask a new question? Rephrase it, okay? My question to you is, you were aware of the hashtag MeToo movement for years by this time that you wrote this objection. That's overruled. Isn't that true? I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question? Yes. By August 29th, 2020, you were already aware for years of the hashtag MeToo movement, right? Correct. And you told the ladies and gentlemen of the jury one of the reasons you did not outcry earlier was because there was no hashtag MeToo movement around when you worked for Mr. Combs, right? Objection. Overruled. She says, I was saying back then there was no hashtag MeToo movement. There was no social media. There was no mental awareness. Sorry. Social media as it is today. Every adult that I had reached out to within this organization or the people that witnessed had happened to me, nobody acted like that was happening to me was wrong. And his threats about that was going to tell Cassie what happened made me internalize blame and shame. Okay. Who threatened to tell Miss Ventura about Mr. Combs' supposedly, look at the tone, supposedly is essaying you? Puff. So your testimony before this jury is that Mr. Combs threatened you, is your word that, hey, I have a mind to tell Miss Ventura that I was essayed? that I was essayed, that you essayed me. There's a typo here. I have a mind to tell Miss Ventura that I essayed you. Objection, overruled. Okay. To tell Cassie everything, quote unquote. Okay. So this is where it gets, I'm trying to figure out where, okay. The word that you, the words that you use were not his words, but he threatened to tell Cassie, quote unquote, everything, which made me feel like I had done something wrong. I don't know how to explain it. What this does to a person, what that does to a person. Okay, are you finished? Mr. Steele asked. Yes. Why didn't you respond by saying, great, let's tell everyone what happened when you violated me? Objection, objection. Sustain. Why didn't you respond by saying, absolutely, tell Ms. Ventura and tell everybody else? That would be great. Objection. That's sustained. Let's move on. Okay. By August 2020, August 29th, you knew, according to you, what you said earlier on direct examination, that you have a moral obligation to speak up. Do you remember saying that to the jury? Objection. That's overruled. I have a moral obligation. Yes. Okay. Why didn't this moral obligation happen in 2017? You said, why did it happen? Why didn't it happen? Why didn't it happen? They go back. I'm like, oh my God, just let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Why didn't it? Yes. Why didn't you have the moral obligation to say, this is my experience with Mr. Combs? Because I was terrified and I was brainwashed. Okay. Why in 2018 didn't you have the moral obligation to come forward and make these allegations against Mr. Combs that he had essayed you? Hold up, y'all. Hold up. Oh my goodness. I didn't even look at the time. That he had said essayed you. Objection overruled, the same reason. Why in 2019 it's the same question? Okay. Next question. I don't know. It's like either get over this question or let's move on to a new question, because we're not getting anywhere. Like, we're not even like really getting somewhere over here. When did the moral obligation come to your mind that you needed to say this information that you're putting forth, that Mr. Combs violated you in an SUL manner and other ways? When I started witnessing him being held accountable for his actions and being told what happened to me was wrong. When was that? She says, I guess it happened when it came out in the media. He was being held responsible. That's when you first said to me, excuse me, that's when you first said me too. Excuse me. No, that's not the first moment I did. It was a long process. Again, I'm still untangling these things. I'm in therapy. Like, there's a lot of support I've been given, but I don't know, or I didn't have or know to do with better. Okay. So then they're going to another page, August 29, 2020. Okay. Okay. I got to find that. Do you have a copy? I see it. What are we referring to? I don't remember. I just wrote a text. I'm guessing he means that James Brown or these videos. How about the scrapbooks the jury saw? So we go back to the scrapbooks. We have to be able to jump because I want to get to the part. Lord have mercy. It's like, what is this? This week, can you explain to the jury what you're talking about? I'm from Virginia Beach. They had a week called Beach Week. And I believe there was a horrible thing that police had done historically to Black people. Pharrell decided to start a festival there. We had never had a festival like that, to shift the conversation around Beach Week, which I guess is spring break for college, maybe. And so everybody that I grew up with was going, yeah, Puff was in the lineup. And you explained that Mr. Combs' presence already makes this a positive environment. You see that? Yeah. So there's more. There was so much in between here, guys. I mean, like I said, this is stuff that, in my opinion, The government did not do a good job of getting ahead of it. I'm just going to review more. Let's see. I want to see when they get her off the stand. Let's see. Let's have a brief sidebar, okay? I don't even know. They had so many. I think they had, was it like 10 sidebars before we could even actually get to where we were going? They're going to try to impeach her. That's what they're going to try to do. So you don't believe that that they've made the case that this goes to impeachment. This is what the court says. Correct, Your Honor. What I heard prior to us starting today is that it goes to demeanor, meaning that it shows a different demeanor than the witness has here on the stand. And so why wouldn't that be sufficient, at least for admissibility purposes? And then obviously you can address it on redirect. Speaking first to demeanor, Your Honor, I think the defense was speaking about her direct examination, looking down, talking about the most traumatic things that she had ever happened to her. And she had been more direct in responding questions. She was looking up and more forceful when she was talking about sexual assaults and violence and Mr. Combs committed against her. So I don't think that there's any basis to impeach her on her demeanor. Okay. So let's see. Steele says, because this is a different type of means of her communication. The court may remember she's extremely positive, energetic, forward-loving, and it's different than a written word. And I thought you'd rule on this already. It's the same objection. This is a totally different piece of evidence. Okay. So they were arguing about evidence, and this is where we got into it. Now, hold up. Let's see. Court says, Mr. Steele, why don't you finish up, and then we'll take a short break, okay? So, oh my God, they go back to exhibits, and this is Mr. Combs' birthday, and isn't it true? Okay, yeah, and this is your abuser. It just keeps going back and forth on that. Okay, I want to go right before. Okay, and this is when the government got mad on the comment, God forbid, God forbid, God forbid, okay? The government, hold up. The court says, all right, do you have an application at this time? I mean, I look and I understand that you're making your record. I have not heard any yelling from Mr. Steele, and I have not heard anything that was sarcastic in the questions. To the extent that there were improper questions, the court has sustained numerous objections. My understanding when Mr. Steele says, God forbid, is that he's talking about the things that the witness has said that are extreme in nature. So he's saying, God forbid, as an apology to him having to repeat that and recollect what the witness says. That's my understanding of him saying God forbid. Somebody in the chat when we were reviewing this, they were like, well, he's from the South. This is a thing that people, I guess, from the South said, God forbid, God forbid. It's like a comment. I'm not from the South, so you guys let me know there, okay? But I'm trying to see. Okay, let's have Mia back. It's more of the same. This is what's so annoying. That it's like I don't feel like they got their point across. If they were trying to show a different side, okay, they did it. They did it. I mean, that's just how I feel. At the end of the day, he's not being charged with SA. Yeah, he's not being charged with SA. Listen. What did somebody in my chat say? Was it Venus? Venus, if you're in the chat, you said this. Everybody doesn't like defense attorneys until you need one, right? So there's that. Okay. There is that. I just wanted to do it. I wasn't going to read this whole thing today, y'all, because I'm actually kind of tired. And I have to get up early tomorrow because we're doing it again. But I mean, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I mean, so I know that they concluded with the hotel records person. And that was quick. They got her done. I left like 9 minutes before court ended. They got done with that one very quick. So that's, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I mean, like I said, you guys, you don't have to like it. And you don't like, I'm welcoming opinions on both ends, whether you feel like she's lying, whether you agree, whether you don't agree. I mean, as long as we can keep it respectful, I feel like we can have an environment for both. Now, I mean, you guys have to let me know what you guys think in the comments about this. You know? You think the prosecution fell asleep? I just think that it's the only way we can learn from each other. I don't like to shut conversations down, even if I don't agree with what's happening. And I've said it before. The problem that I have with the government, they dropped the ball here. They did. They didn't have to bring the essay up. Okay, the forced labor alone was enough. That's enough. Like, she showed that with the HR messages, but the whole essay thing, I just don't think it was smart. And yeah, the prosecution did a very they try to clean it up, but I still don't think they did a good job, honestly. Absolutely, Aduko. And I appreciate everybody. Like, I know we're gonna get a difference of opinion. Not everybody's gonna agree, but I guys, if I'm covering a trial, and I hopefully in the future I can cover more, not just this one, because I realize that I'm able to actually cover trials. I've always wanted to, and this is like my first one, like this, right? I don't want to harbor one specific opinion, right? Like, I want to be able to harbor a bit of like differences of opinions. That's my thought on that. But you guys can let me know what you guys think in the comments. That's how I feel. I don't know. But I got to go because I'm really tired, actually. And I said I wasn't going to review this whole one, just review some of the answers, some of the things that she said. I don't feel like she said anything different. I've reviewed already all sides of everything in this one. I think I'm done. I think we're done with Mia. And hopefully she's able to move on. I don't know what else is going to happen. I know that if I was Mia and I was so worried, I probably would change my identity, change my name, change everything. I wouldn't want to be any of this. Thank you. I don't want to, and my mods know, like, we've had conversations about this. I don't want to block people that are, like, we just have a difference of opinion. That's all. That's all. All right, guys, I'm out of here because I got to get some sleep. Hit the like button. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, it is. It's the first time. Kraken, unfortunately, thank you so much for the feedback. However, I can't have other people speaking parts because my schedule is a little bit crazy. So for me to have that, I have to bring somebody on at the very last minute. I just don't have time. I don't. So I have to do what I have to do. But thank you so much for the feedback. Okay, I will see you guys later. Have a good night. Hit the like button. Bye, guys. Bye.